We got the
Alrighty. Well, welcome to our Saturday morning hour of power for our dream team. And I want to acknowledge you guys for jumping on live, and a big shout out to anyone who's catching the replay. So I love to be able to kind of share, I guess, the highlights of the week. And it's interesting. I know with my own personality, I thrive on excitement and adventure and highlights. And often we don't actually talk so much about the lowlights, but when we reflect on the week that was, it's the lowlights that usually give us the greatest insights and lessons and blessings for us to actually be able to grow and move forward. And so there's a few things that I want to chat with you guys about today. And one of those is self-sabotage and what are the stories that we put inside of our head, because I think at the end of the day with DreamTrips, your business is a reflection of you, and the only thing that can change your business is you. We've done these calls week in, week out for 18 months at varying times. Sometimes they're Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Saturday morning, and everything in between. And over that time, through our leaders, and especially with Jeff and myself, our background is helping people to be able to launch their laptop lifestyle businesses online. And we've charged thousands and thousands of dollars for that coaching. So you guys have all got access to that essentially for the cost of your DreamTrips membership, which is incredible value. So you've got the strategy, you've got the systems, you've got the coaching, you've got the support, you've got an incredible product, an incredible business model, and all the things. So why aren't you where you want to be? And the only reason is you. So today we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive, and this will be an uncomfortable conversation for some of you. And I want you to know that the conversation that I'm having isn't just at you, it's at me too, right? And I love when I'm coaching and leading programs or teams, when you have to step up as a leader, it's incredible the amount of self-reflection that you do, because I'm all about leading by example and having integrity. And I'm also really quick to be responsible and put my hand up and declare it when I'm out of integrity. And every time I do that, I know that is, your team, your business is a reflection of you. So if I'm out of integrity and I'm not taking the action, there's probably a good chance that the team isn't either. So I'm putting my hand up and I'm declaring it that I've been out of integrity this week. And there's a story behind that, because there's always a story, but there can be a disempowering story and there can be an empowering story, and the choice is literally yours. And just like that, you have the choice to switch it. So self-sabotage. So this week for me, it's been a really tough week. And me, I usually jump on and celebrate the highs, and we've done this, and this is so exciting. And hey, I'm so excited that we're heading to Fraser. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that at the end of the call. And I had 2 hours online with Tammy Smith yesterday talking dream trips and Fraser. And my goodness, what goes on behind the scenes of a dream trip is incredible. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that today as well. So I have a whole list of things to work through. So let's start with the self-sabotage. So for me, as you all know, I had 3 weeks in hospital with my son, Zach, who has been quite sick with a chronic condition that's flared up in not a good way. And it's really taken me out, not just for the 3 weeks in hospital. That was like a time warp where I was just sucked and had no capacity to deal or do with anything. But really over the last 6 weeks, identifying that and in and out of the hospitals before we went down to Queensland Children's Hospital. Now, in my mind, before I went down, I had this great plan. Oh, I'm going to be sitting in a hospital room. I'll be able to just smash out messages. It's not going to stop me, blah, 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 blah. But the reality was I just wasn't able to do that. Now, yes, I did have pockets of time where I did send messages, and I still did join up a few people. And I guess compared to the rest of the world who was doing dream trips, some would say that was amazing. But for me and what I know is possible, I was really beating myself up. And, when you're your own worst critic and you're talking negatively about yourself, that's the fastest way to self-sabotage and pull yourself down. And it's also having those disempowering stories in your mind, and what you focus on expands. So if your story is, I suck, I'm a failure, I'm not where I want to be, and beating yourself up from things that you're not doing, then that's what you're focusing on and you're energizing that. And then that's going to expand. Versus, and you guys all know, I've got my daily disciplines up there on my wall. I'm the top incomenter in the fastest growing team in DreamTrips. I'm the leader that other leaders are looking for. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, I hadn't been actually doing those daily declarations whilst I was in hospital. And it's amazing. After 21 days, you can break. It takes 21 days to form new habits, 21 days to break habits. And so because I hadn't done that consistently for those 21 days, all of those really great habits that allow me to build my business and be successful and be a leader and, do all the things, all of a sudden it was like back to zero again. And so I wanted to invite you all today to have a look at, where are you self-sabotaging? What are the things that you're doing on a daily basis that are actually disempowering you or not in alignment or taking you away from your goal? And there's also the escapism. And, look, I was dating someone for a significant period of time. And, in reflection, I drank way too much. I partied way too much. Now, there's nothing wrong with drinking and partying, but all in moderation, right? And if I really, when I was honest and looked back in that reflection, was like, wow, I drank a lot. And, last night it was interesting. I got invited to go out and I was actually going to say no. And I thought, no, I haven't been out for ages. I'll go out. But I put myself a limit. I said, I'm going to drive and I'm going to have 3 drinks maximum. And I also set a timer on my phone, which was 2 hours after I arrived, that after those 2 hours, I was going home. So I still got to go out and hang out with my friends and have a great time and have a couple of drinks. But I was also able to then drive home and be an adult and be a parent. And, I was very proud of myself one night in a row, being very responsible. But how you do something is how you do everything, right? And so we can all suffer the pain of 2 things, the pain of disappointment or the pain of discipline. And so what are the disciplines that you need to be doing on a daily basis to actually achieve the goals that you want, not just in DreamTrips, but in all areas of your life? And so one of the daily disciplines for me is actually reading my daily declarations, those affirmations that put me in the right frame of mind. Another one is making sure that I'm drinking enough water. And, that was another thing. I hadn't been drinking enough water. Another thing is getting off my ass and exercising. When I exercise for 30 minutes a day, I feel great. When I don't, I feel shit. And, it's when you start looking through, it's all of those little incremental things that make a massive difference to your business with DreamTrips, but also to your life, to your relationships, to your health, and ultimately to your wealth. So with your self-sabotage, the first thing you want to look at is, what's the story that you're telling yourself in your head? And, for me, I was in a real funk this week, and I'm so grateful to both Chris and Jeff. It's amazing when you have business partners, running buddies that, you check in with each other every day. And, these guys were my left and right hand man by my side. And one thing I love about having mates, male friends versus your girlfriends get sucked into the story and they feel sorry for you. And, they're very, nurturing, but often they're not so much part of the solution. They're about making you feel good, but they don't kick your ass to get back into the game. And, Chris especially, I just absolutely love and adore for the conversations that we have, because it's not just, I know Chris cares about me and, and there's the love and the support and the compassion, but at the same time, it's like, right, what are you going to do about it? What's the plan? Get off your ass, go, and I love that. So, and I wanted to be able to have that conversation with you today to declare, kick ass with love. That's exactly right, Jeff. So first and foremost, I want you to identify where are you self-sabotaging? Because everybody does it. Doesn't matter who you are or what level you are. Everyone has a level of self-sabotage. So what is it? What is it in the physical? Because there'll be physically things that you're doing or not doing. So like drinking too much, some people take drugs and, hey, I have done that too over times of my life. And it's an escapism, right? But it doesn't serve you and it doesn't help you to be able to achieve what it is that you want in life. It just helps you escape and feel good in that moment, just like alcohol does. But is that what you want for your life? So it's having that real honest conversation with yourself today in, who am I? What do I want? And where am I out of integrity? But not making yourself wrong for that. To actually just own it and draw a line in the sand and say, okay, it's reset time. And, it might be for you incremental changes. If you're not drinking any water, to suddenly go to 4 liters a day might be crazy. Okay. But, just start with doing a bit more than you're doing now. If you never exercise at all, well, maybe do 3 times a week as a starting point, or make it 10 minutes a day. Like, for me, I could walk down to my letterbox and back. Like, it's a really freaking long, steep driveway. It's probably 10 minutes, 3 stories worth of stairs. Most people that come here for the first time walk up my stairs, go, because it's hard work. So start small and then build up, because even just those small incremental steps are going to make you feel better as well. If you're drinking 5 glasses of wine a night, cut that back to 3 glasses or 2 glasses, and actually have the discipline to stick to that. So the next part of it is where you don't have results, you're out of integrity. And so I want to for a moment just talk about integrity. And I know Jeff has done this training with me with the Landmark Forum. It's called Landmark Education. There's various programs within the Landmark Institute. And I'm so grateful I had a business coach that kicked my ass and made me do these programs. And so the Landmark Forum is all about discovering what are your blind spots, what's holding you back from actually truly being the best that you can be, and also figuring out who you are, why you are the way you are, and actually getting back to nothing, to a blank canvas, so that you can actually truly be the best version of you and be, the best human that you can be. And they train you in these 10 distinctions. So one of those distinctions, which I believe is the most powerful, is the distinction around integrity. So wherever there's no results, it's because you're out of integrity. So what the heck does that mean? So integrity has nothing to do in this context, has nothing to do with morals or right or wrong. Integrity is just literally doing what you said you would do, but doing what you said you would do by when and how you said you would do it. So it's honoring your word. If you say you're going to do something, that you're going to do it. Now, how many of us last Saturday made a great plan and said, yeah, I'm going to do a live every day and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, I've got this beautiful little plan written on my journal here, but did I do it? No. Did I get the results? No. Did I join 10 people in my business last week, which was my commitment? No, I didn't. I joined 2. Now, for some people would say, oh, but 2's great, Kyles. Well, it is. It's good, but it's not great because it's not what I committed to, because I didn't take the action that I said I was going to take. So I was out of integrity. So when you look at your life, whether it be your health, so, I'm still 20 kilos overweight to where I'd want to be. And again, a lot of people go, but Kyles, you lost 30 kilos. That's amazing. Yeah, it's good, but it's still not where I want to be, because again, I'm out of integrity in that area of my life. So I'm calling myself out today because obviously it would not be nice if I was calling you out individually, because the most empowering thing that you can do as a leader for your own life and your own business is for you to do that self-check and self-analysis, and for you to actually call yourself out with, where are you at? Where are you out of integrity? What did you say you were going to do that you didn't do? And it's actually, it's very empowering to do, and I do this probably once a month. I do what I call an out of integrity list. So I start with my journal on a blank page, and I just start writing all of the things that I haven't done that I said I would do, all of the areas where I'm out of integrity. But then once you've done that, The next step is to then say, okay, I have to clean up. I have to take responsibility. I have to own this. You can't change what you have or haven't done in the past. All you can do is draw a line in the sand, and you got to take responsibility and you got to own it. So rather than beating yourself up, it's reaching out and having conversations. So I had conversations with the leaders in our team. I also reached out to Martin Ruoff and to Mark and Tammy Smith and to some of the other top global leaders to say, hey, just wanted to check back in and apologize for my absence. And of course, they're all really compassionate, going, oh my gosh, Kyle's like, you've had your sick son in hospital. Like, we get it, it's fine. But I knew as a leader for myself, as part of my reset and to restore my integrity, I needed to have that conversation. But it wasn't just having the conversation to apologize that I'd been out of action. It was then making a new promise and recommitting. And that's the most important thing, that you then have to make that new promise, but freaking stick to it. Because when you're out of integrity and you clean up and then you're out of integrity again, like, you start that downward spiral. But when you're out of integrity and you reset and you take responsibility and you make that new plan and you stick to it, oh my goodness, like, that is so empowering. Now, Apollo 13, on that rocket ship's mission from Earth to the moon, was actually off track 97% of the time. So it was only actually on course, completely on course, on track for 3% of that journey. But it had a GPS tracker. I'm presuming rockets would call it a GPS tracker, but if not, we'll just pretend that it was a GPS tracker, because I'm not a rocket science or a rocket ship astronaut. But it had a GPS tracker that would keep bringing it back on course. And so for us, what's your GPS to bring you back on track? And one of those things is our Friday morning DTI connection call with Mark and Tammy Smith. It's our Saturday morning hour of power for our team. It's our Tuesday night, like Travel Tuesday. It's reaching out to your accountability buddy or your running partner or, your coach, your mentor, whoever it is that you communicate with, to check in to make sure that you're on track. So, hey, Cheryl Ann, I can see you've just jumped on. Great to have you here, babe. So I've talked about self-sabotage stories, out of integrity. Okay, so the next thing, you become an average of the people that you spend the most time with. And it's interesting, for me, it was so evident last night when I went out. A lot of the people that I went out with, they're really big drinkers. And, up until 2 months ago, I was one of those. And, I would just drink until I was absolutely plastered and sometimes didn't even remember how I got home. Now, I'm not proud of that. And I'm not, but I'm not beating myself up. Like, it was a season of my life. And I'm so grateful that I was able to identify that. And last night, I still went out and had a great time. But I was also able to wake up this morning completely functional without a headache or feeling like crap, and, able to run this call. Whereas if I think back to where I was at, 3 months ago, I would have really struggled this morning to do this call, because it would have been such a big night last night. And essentially I would have been poisoning my body, right? So again, it's looking at who are you hanging out with. And, yesterday, to be on that call with Tammy Smith for a couple of hours and, having calls with Jeff and Chris and other leaders and people who are up for a big game, it makes me feel completely different. I've reconnected with a few of my gym buddies to be able to get back on track with my exercise and get back to the gym, because I know that that's good for me. So you want to have a look at who's in that circle of influence. Who are the people that are actually bringing you down, that's actually not in alignment with where you actually want to go into the future? And it's hanging out with those people that make you feel uncomfortable in a good way, because you're the little fish in that big ocean, and you're hanging out with people who you look up to because they're further down the road of where you want to be in your life, in your health, in your business. When I used to own gyms, I used to have 13 gyms at one point in my life. And it's why I have so many gray hairs. Although they're all covered up. Look, my beautiful new coloured hair. I had to hide the greys. It was looking quite scary. But one of my favorite quotes that I used to share in the gym was, if you want to run faster, run with people who run faster than you do. And I remember I started a running group and I sucked at running. Like, I was fit and I could do lots of other things, but I'm not a runner. I just sucked at running. And I was determined that I wanted to learn, like I wanted to run. And I enrolled. So what I did is I went all in, as I do, and I registered to do the 10K in the Gold Coast Marathon. And anyway, I never tried to run 10Ks. So I jumped on the treadmill and I set it on 10, which is a pretty good pace for running. And I just thought, I'm just going to see how fast I can, like how far I can go. And guess what? I ran 10Ks because it was just my mind that thought that I wasn't a runner and thought that I couldn't do it. But when I actually just jumped on the treadmill and committed that I was going to run 10Ks, I ran 10Ks. I was like, oh, well, I've done that. So then I went, oh, well, there's no point going in the 10K. I may as well now push myself and go into the half marathon. And so I rolled it, and I didn't run an entire half marathon until the actual day, but I'd run 18Ks in my training. But I joined a running group and they all ran so much faster than me. They ran so much further than me. And I was always the one right at the back. But because they were always faster, it had me stretch and always push every single week. And then I ended up not just doing a half, but then I also ended up doing a full marathon as well. And, you know, I don't want to go back and run another marathon. I've checked that off my list. But the power in the story is you can achieve anything. It's just a matter of, number one, committing to it and having that goal, and surrounding yourself with other people who were on the same journey, and then having that discipline to stick to it. And it's the same with DreamTrips. You know, if you want to make that 10K a month, well, what are the actions that you need to do to make the 10K a month? Who else is on that mission to hit that 10K a month and have a holiday, you know, every single month? Like, imagine that, having a dream holiday every single month, making 10K plus a month, working less than 10 hours a week. So you have the time to be with your family and go to the gym and do all the other things that you want to do in your life. Like, that is what's possible with DreamTrips, which is pretty freaking amazing. So the next, sorry, I'm just ticking off my little boxes here as I go through. So the next thing that helps you get out of this funk is changing your state. Because basically we can stand in a place of love or a place of fear. That's it. You can't be in two places at the same time. It's love or fear. And in fear, we get caught up in the story and the emotions, and we beat ourselves up and we're a victim, and maybe we even blame circumstances. You know, I was having a good blame of my ex-husband last month for, you know, not being there and blah, 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 blah. But was that story empowering me or disempowering me? It was disempowering me. It didn't hurt him. It didn't change the situation. So, you know, again, I had to slap myself and slitch it to say, I've got to stop having that conversation. And again, you know, Chris actually helped me with that and drew that to my attention because I kept energizing it. So it's so important that you catch yourself, because thoughts become things. Whatever it is that you think, like, that's what you're manifesting. That's what you're energizing for your life. So if you're energizing, this is so hard and I haven't joined anyone into my DreamTrips business, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what you're energizing. There are people every week that are signing 10, 20, 30 people a week. It's totally possible. We've just got to actually take the action to do that. So changing state. So there's three basic things, and this is an Anthony Robbins training. There's three things that will hold you back from achieving your goals. So we've already talked about stories. The next thing is getting into state. And it's like, literally, like, if you have a look, if you're like, you know, crouched over versus just sit up, shoulders back, smile, like instantly, like everyone just do that. Shoulders back, big smile, take a big deep breath in, really oxygenate your lungs. Like, already that makes a difference, right? Like, I can actually feel the difference in my body. music is another thing. Like, what's your power song? Like, I love Eye of the Tiger. It just gets me fired up. Another one is Girl on Fire. You know, this girl is on fire. I know I can't sing, but I love to sing. So you just got to, you know, deal with it. So music and moving your body. So get up and dance to a song, walk around the block, like, you know, just scream, jump, like, oh, there's a reason why they do that in the movies, right? And it changes your state. So now you're actually ready to go take action. So I love with this business that we can literally build it in 1 hour or less a day. That's it. You don't have to spend 10 hours a day building this thing. You just got to reach out to a minimum of 2 people a day. That's it. If you want to go faster, reach out to 10. If you want to go faster, still reach out to 20. You can still do that in a short, compressed time frame. It doesn't take hours. So you could literally build this business in 5 minutes a day while you're sitting on the loo doing a number 2. You've all heard me say that before, but it's the truth. Yet we all get caught up with all these excuses and crap in our head of why we can't do that. So another thing to change your state is also gratitude. What can you be grateful for? Because when you come into a place of love and you have an attitude of gratitude and you're grateful for what you have, then all of a sudden you'll attract more into your life, versus when you're focusing on the lack and what you don't have and what's not working, you're going to attract more of that. So gratitude is another really amazing daily discipline that I love to be able to start my day with. And I'm so grateful for my family. Like, I have the 2 most beautiful cherubs, and I know most of you are going to get to meet them on Fraser Island next week, which will be cool. Zach actually said to me yesterday, he said, "Oh my gosh, Mum, I feel like I've known Jeff my whole life, and I can't believe I'm going to meet him for the first time next week in Fraser Island." Like, you know, like, how crazy is that? Like, that was just so cool. And I'd said to Zach when we're in hospital, I knew that you and your family were praying for him, and I shared that with him. And, you know, he was just so chuffed that people he hadn't physically met. And, you know, for that, I'm so grateful for our DreamTrips family. And I'm so grateful that I get to live in this beautiful little treehouse with this amazing view and my 3 beautiful puppy dogs. And, you know, there is so much that we have to be grateful for. And, you know, I know myself, because I'm so driven and I'm always looking for the next thing, I often actually forget to stop and acknowledge how far I have come and what I have done. And I'm going to assert that you would be the same for your life at wherever you're at. So it's important that we do acknowledge and we're grateful for where we're at, but it's still okay to strive and want more, as long as it's an empowering conversation, not a disempowering conversation. Okay, I'm doing really good. I'm ticking off lots of boxes here. Okay, so I've got 2 more things, and then I'm going to open it up for Jeff and Chris to share, and then we'll have some questions at the end. So I want to talk, and this is probably could also be a conversation for Tuesday night for our Travel Tuesday, but I just want to segue a little bit, because at the end of the day, one of the important things that we need to be successful in our business is we need product knowledge. And the best way for you to get product knowledge is to be a product of the product, to experience the product and actually book a dream trip and go on a dream trip, experience it. Because I'm telling you now, until you've experienced a dream trip, you have no clue. Like, in theory, you know, you read off the sheet and, you know, but you just, it's something you have to feel, and it's something you have to experience. Now, I actually got that yesterday at a whole new level, because I'm hosting our Fraser Island dream trip. And I've got goosebumps. Like, oh my gosh, what is going on behind the scenes to make it seamless for everyone on that trip? Like, my body's vibrating from head to toe right now. Like, I got that next level. The amount of planning, like, it is insane. Like, and I've like got all the spreadsheets and documents and all the things, and it's just like, whoa. And even like just the role of being host, you know, like, I've seen the host, and, you know, I've experienced having a host, but actually being a host, like, again, it just took it to a whole new level. And, even things like anticipating. So when someone arrives at the airport, like actually having communication with the steps of, when I land at the airport, what do I do? Where do I go? And actually having all of that ready for you. Now, if you're not on a dream trip and you land in an airport somewhere that you've never been before, especially if you're in a foreign country, like I remember the first time I landed in Bali, and, you're kind of like, whoa, there's people with like machine guns walking around, and as soon as you walk out, everyone's trying to like grab you and take you and help you to, I'll help you with your bags, but you don't know who they are, and then it's like really overwhelming and very confronting if you haven't traveled before. DreamTrips takes all that away. The second that you land, it's like, there's someone waiting for you, or this is where you have to go, this is where you have to turn, here's your step by step. Like, for those of you who were in the Fraser Island chat, like, let's just talk transfers. Like, oh my goodness, I said to Christy, who works for DreamTrips full time, I said, is every group this bad for like transfers? Like, oh my gosh, like these guys are my friends and my team, but I just want to slap them. Like, oh my gosh. And she's like, every single group, when someone starts traveling, it's like they become a 2-year-old toddler and you got to hold their hand and do everything for them. But at the same time, she was just so graceful about it. And she said, but that's what DreamTrips is about. That's what we do. We hold their hand. We make it seamless. We think about everything so that they don't have to. So there's no stress. There's no worry. Everything is done and taken care of. And all the things that you don't know because you haven't got there yet, that are already thought out and planned out. Like, it just, being on that call for 2 hours yesterday, like, for anyone who questioned the price of Fraser Island, I'm telling you, it should be double what the price is, just because of that, the care and thought and the VIPness. I don't know if that's a word. Oh, that actually came out really wrong now. Retract. The VIP experience, the VIP
That's funny.
That was really bad. Anyway, you know me, sometimes things just so what's going on behind the scenes is truly insane. And even like for those who experience the trip, the day-to-day, just having that go-to person that can take care of everything, like, it really is incredible. And I just fell in love with DreamTrips all over again yesterday, being on that call, just seeing how much has happened behind the scenes and what the company do for us to actually make it that dream experience. And so the last thing that I need to share on that is there will be no calls next week. So there'll be no Travel Tuesday, and there will be no this team call next Saturday, because most of us are going to be over on Fraser Island. So I am so excited about hosting our first Aussie dream trip with part of the relaunch. To have Mark and Tammy there is just incredible. We've also talked about the training. We're actually doing a little bit longer training for our team, and there'll be a mastermind component, which they don't normally do. I've really asked for that. And we will also, fingers crossed, be announcing 2 more dream trips for Australia next week as well. So I'm smile on my face. Very, very, very excited for that as well. Okay, well, that is me done. So thank you for listening to my share this morning. So I'm actually going to hand over to, now, Chris, I might actually go to you first, because I know that you're working with your other business, and then I'll come back to Jeff. So over to you, superstar.
Yeah, I just like to get, back up what you've said in regards to how we sometimes get trapped up in life and start the stinking thinking, and then we go along that line and we end up all running down that road of negativity. I'm going to declare this week's been really bad for me, because I really should have stood up, and I was going to do a live every single day. And there wasn't a day I didn't get up and go, I should have done a live. But it's just, you come up with excuses. I have got quite a bucket load of stuff on my plate at the moment. The things that we're trying to achieve with this 10 grand a month and having that lifestyle of one dream trip every month. I've accomplished that, but it took me like 30 years to do that. So this is something that's going to give us all that fast track of getting this to that stage where we can all do this. And as a team, it is so much easier. I remembered a long time ago, a guy came to me, and he was a mentor I was using at the time. And he said to me, Chris, in your mind, what is a millionaire? And at the time, in my mind, was if I could wake up every single day, have $3,000 in my bank, and not have to go to work, I could do whatever I want to. That to me was like being a millionaire, because I was sort of in a position that if I had $3,000, I had $2,500 to play with, because I only needed $500. I'm thinking $2,500 every single week. Now I'm going to have a great life. So he told me, well, that's all you need to do. You know, that's in your mind, that's the millionaire. So that's all you need to do. Well, I accomplished that in about 3 months, and it didn't take very long to do that. But it wasn't until I had that mind shift that I actually did it, because my whole life I could have been doing that. I could have done it from the age of 20. And the thing that really gets angry with myself sometimes is that I know how easy it is to do, because 90% of the time it's just your mindset, nothing else. So when you look at it and you go, oh, yeah, but Chris, I only got a job and I only do this. But it's these sort of things that we're in now with the dream trips that gives you that opportunity. It's a side thing at the moment, but eventually your part-time becomes your full-time. So you just got to gradually work on that. And if you just made an extra $10 this month by signing, an extra one person, or make it $12 and sign two people, if you just kept doing that for a period of time, it's only a matter of time before you have got enough passive that you can actually now go and live the dream and go out and do the holidays. The thing with most of the people in my team is that they're all saying, well, I'd love to have that work 3 days, work 3 weeks, have 1 week off and go on holidays. I've made it a rule now. That's what I'm doing. So I do that. I'm going to do that every single month going forward. But they're now looking at me and going, okay, well, if Chris can do it, I can do it. So again, I'm just going to lead by example and encourage people to do the same. This is a great vehicle. I've had a lot of vehicles in my life for making money. This one's a great vehicle. The community is unbelievable, and you need mentoring. You can't do it all on your own. And I realized that at a younger age. So you'd need to be mentored. We've got some great people in our organisation that can mentor us. And there's people above me that I can go to now, like with Mark and Tammy, and there's Josh and all these other guys that are way more successful than me. So I'll be picking their brains every time I meet with them. So they're things that then we can bring back into our team. So the biggest thing about it is you've got to take some action. You've got to change. If you can do one little thing a little bit better than you did the day before, you're one step further. The thing is, if you don't change nothing changes. So if you can just make one commitment each day to better yourself a little bit further, before you know it, you've bettered yourself and you're not even realized. I've always been a big believer in circle around the people that you want to be. So that's really important. There's no use hanging out with negative people and go, oh, I want to be this, when they're all being that. So you just got to hang around with the people that are positive. Look forward to Fraser. Can't wait to see you all there. I got a heap of things planned for Fraser as well. I got a truckload of people coming up with all sorts of bits and pieces we're going. So yeah, it's this month's holiday. So I'm really keen on that. So hope to see you all there, and I'll throw back to you, Kylie.
Awesome, Chris. Thanks, buddy. And I love what you said. Like, I'm leading by example. I'm going to do one holiday a month, because then when one person does it, someone has to be the visionary. Someone has to be that pioneer who claims it. Like, and it's like the old 4-minute mile? Like, it had never been done, but someone claimed it. They did it, and all of a sudden it's possible. And now everyone can do it. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean? So I love that. And guys, you might look at Chris and go, a holiday a month, like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know if I could do that. We'll start with a holiday a quarter, one every 3 months, or start with, it might just be a holiday, like a one day that you do a family fun day. Go do something one day every month with your family. Like, here I live in the Whit Sundays. Hey, gorgeous boy. And it might be, going out on ocean rafting for the day. So, we still have that incredible experience that we're doing that's part of our lifestyle. And then next month we go on a holiday. So it's just looking at how you can integrate that into your life, and you might be incremental, right? Awesome. Okay. Well, Jeff, I know you've got some gold to share, and I want to really acknowledge Jeff has been in massive action. Really, I've seen you grow so much since we pivoted with this $1 promotion. You've really owned it and grown in so many ways. And Jeff, one of the things that I love that Jeff has done is he's reinvented himself, and he's actually launched his new brand, Laptop Lifestyle Dads. And it really, I've seen you just shift to really own that space. And now you have that clarity. It's allowed you to really grow and expand your business and feel comfortable in that as well. So I really acknowledge you for that. So I'm going to hand over to you, because I know you've got some exciting stuff to share too.
Yeah, thank you. First off, I just love having you back in action. You know, like I know you had to stand here, you had to deal with Zach and 3 weeks in hospital and all that, but I've missed you. It's like, it's great to have you back in action, and giving us that kick ass with love, and we all need that. And there's a couple of things I just want to echo what Kylie said there, what Chris has said as well. Is the whole theme there of mindset. But let's come back to goals. Goals without action are just dreams. Faith without action is actually works that are dead. It's great to have goals. It's great to have dreams. But unless you're taking action, and that could be just half an inch each forward each day, or it could be a mile each day, like as long as you're taking action towards your goals, then that's all that matters. It's just acknowledge that each day is a blessing. Each day has a lesson in it. And not every day is going to be a victory. We actually need to celebrate our trials. We need to celebrate our hard times. And I've actually, that's a big mental shift for myself, because now I look at the hard times. Now I look at the challenges that are thrown at me, and I'm going, okay, cool. Well, what's the lesson that I'm meant to, how can I grow in this? What's the lesson in this? And I know Kylie and I have had conversations over the last 2 years where I've gone the other way with that, and got into the stinking thinking pattern. And it's just amazing how this thing between our ears can control our lives so much, like a subconscious mind. And it really is. Now, Kylie hit the nail on the head. It's a love versus fear state. I know when I'm operating out of fear, I'm not a very pleasant person to be around. I can get angry, I can get defensive, I can get all that yucky stuff I don't like about myself. And even in myself, like, I just feel yuck. But when I'm in a love state, that's when the passion comes out. That's when the purpose comes out. And that's when I step up, and this morning, I woke up with a bloody migraine headache, and normally those days can wipe me out. Like, I could buy into that. And I was like, I've suffered from chronic pain syndrome. And this whole conversation is very, relevant to my life with chronic pain. Now, I've woken up this morning with a migraine. A really bad headache, I'll call it, because it's not actually a migraine. What I get is I'm going to get these neuralgia attacks at the back of my head, and then they can turn and wipe me out for the day, just debilitate me. But I've known that over the last decade of learning that, like, the injury that I had, the injury's done, right? There's no reason for my body to go into this flight response that it does. But if I think about that pain and I amplify that pain in my head, and I start thinking, crap, this is just going to be another bad day, I just can't do it, yada, 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 I am debilitated. The pain amplifies, and I've just got to be knocked out, just to get me through that day. But today I woke up and I was, I've committed to this call. I'm going to make sure that the actions that I've said that come out of my mouth, that I'm there. And, I'm talking here, and I started this call with a headache, but now we're into it, 49 minutes into it, and the headache's gone. It's just the power of your state, the power of your mind, and how powerful that really is. Like, getting just, you can choose whether you would be in a love state or a fear state, but it's acknowledging you need to have the awareness of it, and then acknowledging what it is. And then just sometimes you just got to say to yourself back. And, And Kylie's conversation this morning right at the beginning, and it's just centered me. So I thank you for that. And it's like, well, yep, that's, that's the power of the other thing I really want to talk about is having a mentor in your life, having a leader in your life that helps you to stretch you, to help you grow. And the only reason that I've stepped up and become the person that I'm becoming and the leader that I'm becoming is because of Kylie and Chris. I've been involved over the last decade. I've had my own successes, and when I reflect back at every single success story that I've had a mentor and a coach in my corner, inspiring me, stretching me, helping me grow, pushing me to go further. Like that 10-minute mile. Show me a 10-minute mile can be done, and I will go and take that tackle on. If I can see someone else has had success with that, I'll just follow their steps to the letter until I get that success. So, I look at the team that I've grown, and I'm going to call it, the team that I've grown over the last couple of months. There's probably around 50-60% of that's fallen over. And that's when I really look at the numbers and I really look at the characteristics of all the people that I've recruited. The key things that for the people that have stayed and they're wanting to grow and go stronger is they've bought me first, not the opportunity. And that's the thing, right? You've got to have that mentor. Like if I've done it myself. If you go from opportunity to opportunity, when the time gets hard and you're not got the strength to stay in it yourself, or you haven't got the skill set, the wisdom, the character that comes with that to stay in it for yourself, you need that mentor. You need that leader to see who you can be and help bring that person out in you to help you to do that. So we come into, the opportunity for the product, the savings, the great things that it can help benefit us, like what's in it for me. But we stay because of the person we're becoming. We stay because the person who's helping us to become that person. And, I look at my last 18 months with DreamTrips. It's been a roller coaster ride, right? And I stayed because of the person who I was becoming. And I absolutely knew what was possible. I saw Kylie have success with this. I've seen, other leaders in the industry have success with this. And I've had close friends in different companies have massive success with network marketing. So I know it's possible. I just needed to team up with a leader who I could really, respect and put everything into it and basically go to war with each other. Chris and Kylie, I would absolutely go to battle with these guys. I know that they'd have my back and I'd have their back. I have no doubt whatsoever about that. And that's what's helped me to make sure I'm stretching myself and stepping up every day. Because when you've got those support around you, it makes life a lot easier. So my encouragement for you is, every champion has a mentor or a coach. So my encouragement for you is, it don't have to be personally recruited by myself, Kylie, or Chris, or if you resonate with another leader in our group. Alison, has connected with Trish and Alison have connected together. I know that they're doing great together. Just find someone like a running buddy, an accountability buddy, but find someone who's a little bit further down the path than you are, and team up with them. Ask them questions, get coaching from them. That's probably the other thing about really getting the right mentor as well. Is personally, I've had mentors that are so far down the road, like they're almost like it seems too hard to strive to get where they're at. And you put them up on a pedestal and then you beat yourself up because you're not achieving the same things they're achieving, right? So you've got to find that mentor who's further down the road than you, having success, having great success, but it seems achievable that you can still do the same things that they're doing and they can show you the way. The only difference between Kylie and myself is experience, right? She's a little bit further down the road than I am. I've got all the technical experience and I can help Kylie with that. But when it comes to network marketing and relationship building and social media and all that, Kylie is definitely the master in that corner. So I can aspire to be like Kylie, but Kylie can help me, show me what she's done to get there. Chris, self-made millionaire, in several different business models and has employed over 350 people at one time. Well, myself, wife, and Sarah, we're starting. Well, we've got foundations for a massage clinic. We've been up for Telstra Awards, all of that, yada yada yada. It's a nice, good, solid foundation. But now we're wanting to take that business and make that a holistic wellness center. And to do that from, employing 3 people to go into a big holistic wellness center, that's going to be a big stretch, right? Well, I know Chris is a visionary. He's a strategy guy. He could help us, achieve that goal. With what we're doing with the Laptop Lifestyle Dads brand, same thing, right? And partner up with someone who has had success and follow their footsteps, because success leaves clues, and you just got to follow those footsteps to get the same success. So, yeah, even professional athletes going for the gold medalist, they've still got a coach. So my encouragement for you out of this whole call is, if you haven't got a coach or mentor in your corner, and I know Cheryl and I had a really powerful call this week, and thank you, Cheryl, for reaching out. Like, straight away, we connected. Our stories are so similar. And that's the thing too, with you've got to be able to connect with your coach and mentor. You've got to be able to have that heart to heart with them. So when the times do get tough, they can kick your ass with love, and you still respect them, and you still got that integrity in that conversation. So I'm really looking forward to partnering up with Cheryl. Cheryl's not my personal enrollment. I think there's probably about 5 or 6 people between us, to be honest, when I look at the tree. But I just love to help bring out the best in people. And it doesn't matter, we're all one big team. We're all one big family. Let's help each other out. So reach out to myself, Kylie, Chris, and any other leader that's in our group. We're here to support you. We actually love it. We strive for it. When people come to us and say, Jeff, Kylie, Chris, I'm doing X, Y, Z. How can I improve? You're not on our team. We're on your team. Let's do this together. And we've got this. Just partner up. Partner up.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jeff. And one extra little piece that I want to add is, yes, we all love to coach and mentor people, because, there's nothing more like when you achieve things yourself, like it's good. It feels great. But when you help someone else achieve something, like that is next level. Like, it is amazing. So don't feel that you can't reach out to us. Like, always reach out. But, so there's a disclaimer. You've got to reach out and be a pleasure to deal with. And you have to be coachable. Because 100%. If you just want to reach out and complain, and you don't respect our time, and you're not grateful, and, all of the things, then we're probably not going to want to mentor you. So there is a partnership with your coach and your mentor, in that you have to be responsible for how you're showing up. Mentors don't get paid to mentor you. So you do need to be open and coachable. You need to be in action. You need to take responsibility. You have to be grateful and genuinely just be respectful and be a pleasure to deal with. So on that, one of my daily disciplines, one of my daily declarations that I say is, I show up with faith, courage, and enthusiasm. So I would love for each of you to come up with your daily declarations that you're going to share on a daily basis. And I'm going to share mine in just a moment. But before I do, I know we've only got a couple of minutes left, but for the Mira, Cheryl Ann, I know there's a couple of you online. Is there any specific questions or anything that you'd like to share, ask, or comment based on the call today? And if not, that's okay too. I think Mira's literally just dropped off. That'd be right.
The declarations, I love that you're just talking about that. I'm not going to go into it too deep, but I've been playing around with ChatGPT, and it's a really great tool. And I just asked it the other day, so come up with some affirmations and declarations for me. And this is one, so I've taught this tool, my mission, my statement, my business model. And this is one of the things that come up with. So my actions are inspiring and impacting other dadpreneurs to seek balance, wealth and family happiness. Seek balance, wealth and family happiness. Good on you, mate. I love the affirmations, reaching out and just making sure that you say those daily. I know you've done it, Kylie, in the past, where you've got even sticky notes on your mirrors and all that sort of thing. So when you're waking up in the morning, you're just speaking that out straight away. So yeah. They definitely help you to change your mindset.
And Mira also, I loved one of the ones that she shared. She talks about, I do future grateful. So all those statements, it's really powerful when it starts with I am. And so one of the things that Mira shared in the chat, I am so grateful and excited that I now have a and that I now have a thriving DTI business for Issa, who's her daughter, and so forth, which is really powerful. Yeah. All right. So I'll clear my throat, and I'm going to finish the call with my daily declarations, and I'm sharing this for you guys as an example of daily declarations for you to be able to create your own. But I'm equally sharing them for myself because today is the new week for DreamTrips International. Every week we have the top 10 global recruiters, and the week cuts off on Friday afternoon. So today is our day one of a brand new week, and I'm declaring I am so freaking excited that I am the #1 global recruiter this week. So let me now share my declarations, and my dogs are equally sharing them in the background. I am KickAss Kylie. I'm the crazy, fun, out-of-the-box millionaire mum. I'm the possibility of power and inspiration. I win the day because I have faith, courage, and enthusiasm. I'm blessing and impacting lives all over the world. I'm focused and productive to achieve all my goals. I'm a happy, healthy, sexy, strong 68 kilos, size 10. I follow my dreams and do what makes my heart sing. I'm a money magnet. Money flows to me. I make in excess of 8K per day. I empower others to dream big, to believe again, and play. I'm a personal development junkie who loves to learn and read. I continuously grow daily to be the best version of me. I'm a woman on a mission with a passion and a vision. In my heart, I'm believing what in my soul I'm dreaming. I am strong. I am sexy. I am ready. I am the crazy, courageous, confident KickAss Kylie. And that is who I am. And then I have my 3 DreamTrips declarations, which is I am the #1 income earner in the fastest growing team in DreamTrips. I am the leader that other leaders are looking for. And I'm on a mission to help 10,000 people to make 10,000 passive income a month, working less than 10 hours a week and taking 10 or more dream trips a year. So guys, thank you for joining us for our Hour of Power. I hope that that has given all of you a kick in the ass with love, and know that we love and appreciate all of you. We're cheering for you. We are literally one message away, so reach out at any time. Obviously, this week we're going to be on Fraser Island, so please follow our journey, share on social media. We'll be actively posting and getting some really great footage so that we can put Australia on the map for Dream Trips. And if there's anything in particular that you would love to ask Mark and Tammy Smith, if you were on that dream trip in that mastermind, or anything that you'd love to share, feel free to send those through as well. All right, guys, love you. Mwah. Have an amazing week. Let's go. And I'll see most of you in Fraser Island.